Casey Goodson Jr. Casey Goodson Jr. He is a young man who was shot and killed by police in his back, 5 times in his back in December of 2020. He was carrying Subway sandwiches back home, and he had a legal weapon on him. Legal, Legal, a legal weapon on him. The officer, Jason Mead, is finally, after a year, been indicted. I want to play a clip. Exactly. I want to play a clip of a flashback of his mother and his grandmother talking about the day that he was killed. This is in August of 2021, but he was killed in December of 2020. And here they are talking about the day he was shot and killed by Officer Jason Mead.
What also lingers are the questions that have yet to be answered. Here's what we know. The now former Franklin County Sheriff's Deputy, Jason Mead, shot and killed Casey Goodson Jr. as Goodson entered the home. Goodson was carrying a bag of sandwiches. His family also says he had been carrying a gun and had a license to do so. An autopsy shows Mead shot Goodson 6 times in the back. What is not known for certain is why.
This is the door he was coming in. The FBI took the screen that he was shot through. When I saw him, he was laying here with 3 bullet holes in his back, a big one in the middle of his shoulder blades.
Jason Mead retired from the sheriff's office July 2nd on disability. Mead's attorney, Mark Collins, has stated in the past that Mr. Goodson pointed his gun at Deputy Mead. There is no body camera footage because the sheriff's department doesn't have them, and there are no witnesses to the shooting.
Really just a heartbreaking story, and just more details. Like they said, you know, the officer didn't have his body camera on. Of course, they never do. He shoots him and he walks into the house and is dying on the kitchen floor. The grandmother sees the bullets in his body, and he had a legal weapon. He carried a weapon. And there have been several shootings in this area of Ohio. I got to be honest with you. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I did not hear about the story until recently.
Yeah.
I feel like I try to be on these stories, and I did not hear about it until recently. I still recall Micaiah Bryant that happened in Ohio. But it's just sad. It's just heartbreaking. And my God, Reese, your thoughts?
You know, I was looking into the story because I hadn't heard of it either, and I was like, okay, well, what happened? Like,
right,
what happened?
Why?
You know, like, it's just like he was walking in the house, he got shot in the back. Why? Like, what was the reason? You know, like, was there a traffic stop? Was he, you know, what was there was literally no reason. The most that I could gather that maybe like it was a case of mistaken identity where they were working with the U.S. Marshals and they thought they were trying to find somebody, but you cannot tell me that a guy who's going to Subway to get his family some sandwiches decides I'm going to get into a shootout with the fucking sheriff. Like, it just doesn't.
Sandwiches.
Yeah, like, I got sandwiches in one hand, I got a gun in the other hand. Like, yeah, this is what we're doing. Like, on the afternoon. Like, no, that's not what people do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I had to err on, was this guy decide to turn into a cowboy on their way home from Subway, or did this cop decide that he's going to just shoot a black man in the back for shits and giggles? I'm going to always side with the fact that the cop is just doing what he feels like he can do and get away with. It's so sickening. It's so tragic. And what I want to understand is, what is the training for how to apprehend white mass shooters? Apply that training to how you deal with black people. Because somehow y'all, these motherfuckers have automatic rifles, all kind of shit, motherfuckers gunning down people. And I see mugshots. I don't see body tags. I don't see funerals. I see mugshots.
Unless they kill themselves.
Unless they kill themselves. So whatever, because, you know, sensitivity training, diversity training, whatever the sensitivity training you have for mass shooters, white mass shooters specifically, give that same sensitivity training about interacting with black people, because apparently there's a disconnect between what's being trained. And I know I'm being ridiculous because it's not training, but I'm just saying, isn't it funny how they have the training and the capability to apprehend armed mass shooters who are white, But
Who
a
killed
person
people.
who has a Subway sandwich and a licensed gun, I don't even believe he had the gun out because cops lie. But at any rate, if you can apprehend a person who has a gun who's just shot up a school, then you should be able to have a conversation or diffuse whatever the situation may be with a person who has a Subway goddamn sandwich. So I'm glad he's getting indicted. He needs to get convicted and thrown to hell in jail.
And I don't even want to say his name. I'll say his name once. The shooter at Oxford High School in Michigan, Ethan Crumley. Like, you went right. That was a perfect transition, Reese. He shoots 4 people. He injures other people. Furthermore, he had a journal. He had a journal in his backpack detailing his desire to shoot up the school and including murdering students. Additionally, the weapon that he used is a weapon that his daddy bought 4 days ago. Right. This is giving me Kyle Rittenhouse energy. I know. Yeah. Where's the responsibility here? And yet you manage to arrest this man, this person who killed 4 people. The Colorado shooter, Dylan Roof. Oh, damn, I hate saying his name too. Yeah. You managed 4 killing people, and you could figure it out. You could figure it out. It's just astounding to me. Actually, it's not. It shows that, a mass shooter. And let's be clear, Reese, you and I, we always say this. Even in white supremacy, white people are disposable. Hello? 3 out of the 4 white people the folks he killed were white. 1 was Asian. What? Even as the insurrectionists are jumping into the Capitol, Senator Lindsey Graham, who of course I can't stand, allegedly he was telling the police, "Why aren't you shooting them?" Allegedly, that's what he was saying. Why? Yeah. Because Lindsey Graham wants his life protected. Lindsey Graham, he's delicate. But why aren't you shooting them? Right? So you're absolutely right. It is mind-blowing to me. It is 1 person, a legal weapon, and Ethan Crumley, he is apprehended peacefully arrested.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.